you are all doing very well. So today is going to be a bit of a long video because I am showing you guys my full week of workouts as someone who I guess you could say is a hybrid trainer. I just simply want it all. Honestly, I just love being able to do a bit of everything. I want to feel strong, but I also want to feel fit. I want to be able to run distances. I just want to be, I guess, fit all around, not just within the gym. So my usual week of workouts usually implements weight sessions, a calisthenics session, as well as a run or even a hike here and there. And if I'm completely honest with you guys, it's taken me a long time to get here, but I can truthfully say I am more caught up with how I feel rather than how I look. My week of workouts is very personal to me and what I personally enjoy doing, what I enjoy training, what I want to work on. So please keep that in mind when you are watching this week of workouts video, that what works for me might not work for you. This is very personal, like literally so personal to me, like it's got everything I love and want to do in it. I don't actually view my workouts weekly, and I was actually doing my workouts 2 days on, 1 day off for a while, but ultimately I find just training when I feel like I can is the best option for me. I am so lucky to be self-employed and be able to train like that. I completely understand that not everyone can. I find training this way much better because I can tell when my body's ready for my next session, for example, and when I perhaps need to take the rest day. But yeah, I always get asked what my workout split and what workouts I do, and for a while, like, it was a bit all over the place, but now I've established a routine, so I thought I would just come on here and share that with you guys. I thought I would compile all the workouts into one video, which you are going to watch today. I know I've been on about doing this video for a while, guys, so I'm sorry for the hold up. I just haven't figured it out yet, you know what I mean? I do not like to feel confined to one style of training, and for so long that was me. I just done weight sessions for probably like a year or two, just constant. I didn't really do much for like my cardiovascular health, and to be honest, I just got bored and I really fell out of love with training. But as I learn and grow, I know that I now train for my own mental sanity and enjoyment. For me, even though I have my aesthetic goals, I am not doing this for the aesthetic goals. And to be honest, I think that's like a huge factor on why I have made so much progress, because I don't. My number one priority is just not aesthetic. That's not my driving focus. My driving focus is myself and my own enjoyment, my own health, and just viewing exercise as something that is not a way to punish my body to have to look a certain way, but viewing it as a way to enjoy myself, have my own time for an hour or two in the gym. Like, I love it. I just love it, guys. And before I get into my week of workouts, I want you guys to remember that you all have your own goals, you all have your own lifestyle. Please do not feel bad if you cannot train 5 times a week like me. Many people can't. You have to figure out what works for you, and I hope that what you can take from this video is inspiration. Take what you think will help you and leave the rest. So we're gonna hop into workout 1 of the week, and that is my glute workout with a sprinkle of quads. Now let me just quickly give a bit of like a backstory, I guess you could say. So I actually do 2 glute workouts, and for me, I do just love training my glutes. I just love the feeling, but I would be lying if I said that there wasn't some aesthetic goals in there too. I feel like I'm always going to be someone who wants a bigger bum. I think that's just me. So yeah, I do want a bigger bum, and that's why I do my glute workouts, but also I just do enjoy just training my glutes. I just feel so strong training them, lifting the heavy big girl weight. So if glute growth is your goal, you're going to want to be training your glutes 2 to 3 times a week for the most optimal results. I choose to train my glutes 2 times a week because I find I get better recovery between my sessions, and it allows me to push myself more in those sessions. Also, I feel like for me, 3 times a week would probably just be a bit too much. Like, I don't need to do that, especially because I'm running as well. It would be very bottom heavy and I would probably really struggle to recover. Both of my glute workouts are slightly different, but they still have very similar factors, such as 2 to 3 compound movements, one of them being a unilateral exercise, and 1 to 2 accessory exercises. For me, balance is something that is so important, and if you want strong glutes, you're also going to want to have strong quads and strong hamstrings, which is why one of my glute workouts has a bit more sprinkle of quads and the other has a bit more of a sprinkle of hamstrings. You want strong quads and hamstrings because they're going to be beneficial in so many aspects, and as well as aid in your glute growth. Many exercises that you do for the glutes actually implement your hamstrings and quads. So by making those stronger, you are basically allowing your body to push yourself more on those glute exercises because those muscles are backing you up more. You know what I mean? So guys, I just arrived at the gym. This is going to be the first workout I am going to show you. This is my glute workout with a sprinkle of quads. You've probably heard me mention before, but I actually split my leg workouts into 2. As my main goal is glutes, that's my primary focus for both, but I sprinkle in some quads in one session and some hamstrings in another session to get a bit more focus on those 2 because balance is key. I feel so excited to train today. I got my pre-workout. This is the biceps battle from ESN, link in bio. But yeah, it's gonna be a good session, guys. I can feel it. I might finish with some cardio. Like, it's not mandatory that I do that, but I'm sort of fancying it today. I've started a new book, Throne of Glass, and I'm hooked. Like, I'm quite hooked onto it. Like, I just want to keep reading. It's one of those books that you can't put down, and if you don't know, I like to read on the Stairmaster, so I was like, I can read on the Stairmaster and get some cardio done at the same time, also get my steps in. So that's another thing. I actually got a Garmin now. I think I mentioned it in my last video, I'm not entirely sure. Also, like, I'm sorry this lighting's so bright. But it's so much easier to like track my steps and that because I wasn't able to do that before. But yeah, I've hit my 10,000 steps most days. There's been like 1 or 2 days where I've just been below. But I want to make it a goal of mine to keep active every single day and just hit my steps. So yeah, we're gonna go train now. I will see you in the gym. Starting my workout with a dynamic warm-up is super important to me because it not only helps me feel more mobile and helps me feel like I can move more freely throughout my workout, but it also helps me avoid injuries, which is such an important factor. I actually don't have a set warm-up routine. I just choose a couple of exercises that gets my body moving. A dynamic warm-up is basically movements that are continuous, so like you're not holding a stretch. If you are running short on time, I would much rather you cut your workout short than skip your warm-up. A warm-up is literally crucial. My first exercise is going to be a hack squat for 3 sets of 8 to 10, and if you have been subscribed here for a while, you've probably seen that I was doing barbell, and the reason why I swapped is because the hack squat actually puts less pressure on my knees, which is what I want at the moment as I am including more running in my routine. Hack squats are such a good choice because they provide you with some more stability, which a barbell squat does not. There are pros and cons to both, but I would probably say if your main goal is to really grow, then hack squat is going to be the best choice for you, as the stability factor is taken out and you can just really push yourself in that exercise. Following the hack squat, we have barbell hip thrusts, and I know what you're thinking, Ali, you literally always put hip thrusts first, And I usually do, and that is usually my preference, but because I find squats are quite fatiguing, I actually prefer to put hip thrusts second, so I can put a lot of my energy into those squats. And because hip thrusts aren't a highly fatiguing exercise, I can still go full out in those. I am doing 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps, and the reason why my reps are slightly higher is because I don't have to do as much setup. The setup can be so tiring, guys, and I want to put that energy into the exercise, so the less setup for me, the better. The machine hip thrust, the glute drive, can actually be a really good choice to go for your hip thrust because there is minimal setup required. You just got to band those plates on, but I just actually prefer doing it with a barbell, as I just feel like I can get a better connection with that variation. Next we got dumbbell reverse lunges for 3 sets of 8 to 10. And before I continue on, if you do want to make this more glute focused, you can stand on like a weight plate or something to add a deficit to get a better stretch on those glutes. This is something I do actually usually do, but I just did on this day for whatever reason. Unilateral exercises are 100% going to be your best friend, especially when it comes to your glute growth. They will really boost those glute gains. When you are doing your unilateral exercises, you want to make sure you are starting with your weaker side first. Unilateral exercises will help you prevent imbalances, and by starting with your weaker side, you can match the reps you hit there with your stronger leg to ensure that one side isn't going to be stronger than the other. Another thing that I want to mention is that your working leg should be doing the majority of the work. Your back leg is there to sort of support you and give you a little bit of assistance, but you really want to drive that weight through that working leg. Next, I got sumo squat, and this is like an exercise I sort of treat as an accessory movement, even though it's really not. This is not an isolation exercise, but I chuck it at the end of my workout because it gives me a really good burn and I just really like doing it. It's also a good exercise for the adductors, which is an important muscle to strengthen as well. But I do 2 sets of 12 to 15. I only do 2 sets purely because I have pushed myself so much in my first 3 exercises that it'll sort of just be like junk volume, I guess you could say. I don't really need to do 3 sets, I've done enough. And then I do 12 to 15 reps, higher end rep range, because the dumbbells only go up to 50 kg and I find that pretty easy. Unfortunately, I lost the clip to the final exercise, but I did do 45-degree glute kickbacks. And to finish, I done some developmental and static stretches, holding the stretch for about 20 to 30 seconds to help my flexibility and also to decrease the risk of DOMs after my workout. That is the workout complete, guys. It went so bloody well. Honestly, like, just such a good session. I'm really happy with that. I felt really good today as well. I always feel like when I make more of an effort for the gym, I always have better sessions. Look good, feel good, and lift good. I ended up not doing the cardio because I feel like I just expended so much of my energy in my session. But yeah, so that's my glute workout with a sprinkle of quads, and I will see you guys in my next session. So my next workout is my full upper body calisthenics workout. And now I am not going to lie to you guys. I used to hate training upper body. I literally always skipped my upper body sessions. I just found them so unbelievably boring. But that was until I found what works for me and what I actually enjoy doing. I have always loved the idea of just being able to move and control your own body weight. When I was younger, I always wanted to be a gymnast, so I think it sort of stems from that. But I tried like a calisthenics session probably like a few months back now, and I absolutely loved it. So I decided instead of using weights for my upper body session, I'm going to just make it calisthenics. And this works absolutely brilliant for me. I feel like I'm stronger with my upper body than I have ever been before. I can control my upper body a lot better. I was so inconsistent with training upper body before, and I was actually training it 2 times a week. I done a push and pull session, and most of the time I would skip them, or when I would do them, I wouldn't even push myself. So I actually believe I make more progress now with just 1 session, because I enjoy that session and I want to push myself in that session. So I'm basically making more gains. So let's get into the session. Today we have my full upper body calisthenics workout, and now, why do I choose to do calisthenics? I just absolutely love it. I love like just being able to like move and control my own body weight. Is something that I really want to like work on and progress at, and eventually do really cool things. I only do 1 upper body workout a week, and this is my calisthenics one. As much as I do like weightlifting for my upper body, I don't really get the same sort of fulfilment and enjoyment out of it, and a lot of the time I find myself like not trying my hardest, not pushing myself. But when I do train calisthenics, like I find like I want to push myself, I want to try and do 1 more rep, I want to try and do this, I want to do that. So sometimes like finding enjoyment is going to be more important, because I know that I am making more progress in my strength, in my upper body strength, doing this calisthenic workout rather than using weights, because I enjoy myself, like I want to push myself more during this workout. But yeah, I'm just about to go there now. Firstly, I'm gonna have some pre-workout. Well, it's not really pre-workout, but it is. It's my Magenta ESN Crank Energy. My fave flavour. I think I mentioned this earlier in the video, I'm not sure. But my fave flavour, so I'm going to have this now. Also wearing the Minky all-in-one today. The all-in-ones are literally so cute, but I'm due on today, so let me show you. We got a bit of bloating going on, but oh well, like I literally don't give a fuck, so. So like with my glute workout, we are also doing a dynamic warm-up for my upper body. Again, this is important. It's going to help me be more mobile, prepare my muscles for the movements that I'm going to be doing. I am not sure what this bar is called, but it's just my go-to for my upper body warm-ups. But you can also use a resistance band if you do not have one of these. Getting stronger at my pull-ups is my #1 priority, which is why I place these first, because this is when I have the most energy, which means I can put my full effort and really push myself on this exercise without being fatigued by other movements. So I actually do 4 sets of pull-ups. For my first 2 sets, I do as many reps as I possibly can, and then after that I move on to 2 sets of 8 to 10 reps with a resistance band. If you cannot do a pull-up just yet, I would just recommend doing 3 sets of pull-ups with a resistance band, and maybe add in some negatives so you're slow coming down on the movement to start building up your strength. You can even implement things like scapulars, dead hands. These are all things that are going to help you eventually progress onto pull-ups. You can use the assisted pull-up machine, but I would just genuinely recommend using a resistant band on a bar, because with the machine, even though it's going to help you build like a good base for pull-ups, it takes a lot of like the stability part of the movement away. You're not learning to use your core strength either, so I would just go with resistance band pull-ups. And also, usually the thicker the resistance band, the more resistance it will give you, so it will make the movement easier. the thinner resistance band you use, the harder the movement's going to be. So if you are starting pull-ups, go with the thickest band you can find first and make your way down the bands until you get to the thinnest ones, and then you can start doing body weight and stuff. This day I did not feel great. My energy was lower than usual, and for some reason, like after my pull-ups, like it just really fatigues me. Like it sometimes happens where like you really push yourself on an exercise, and because I found pull-ups harder today as well, I felt like I had to push myself a bit more, and then it left my lats and my triceps really fatigued, so it made all my other exercises way harder than they usually are. So yeah, I guess you can say the rest of the workout was a bit of a struggle. My next exercise, I am doing push-ups. I done 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps, although I don't know if I actually hit all the reps because I was just so fatigued. And now I'm going to talk you through some progressions and regressions you can do for these. So if you can't do push-ups yet, I recommend starting with incline push-ups, where like say like you do a push-up on a box, like on a bench or something, or you can do it on your knees just to build that base. But if you are someone who can perform a good few push-ups, then I would recommend doing decline push-ups, where you put your feet up on a box or on a bench and your hands on the floor. Or I would do like negative push-ups, where like you do a really slow movement going down for pushing yourself back up. My next exercise is inverted ring rows for 3 sets of 6 to 8. And now if you notice, I actually have like a little pattern on my upper body workout. So like the first exercise is primarily a back exercise, the second's going to be like chest and triceps, the third is back, the fourth is triceps. So like we're alternating between to allow our muscles to rest. And finally we have tricep dips. I'm doing 1 set of 5 to 7 with body weight, and then 2 sets of 8 to 10 with a resistance band to help build up my strength and ultimately do more reps in the future. And then finally, to finish off, we got a little ab exercise, which is knee tucks. For this exercise, I literally just think about showing my bum. I could not for the life of me do these today. My arms were dead. So I just done 2 sets of as many reps as I could. And then I finished off with some handstand practice. I done this for about 15 to 20 minutes. But again, today was just not the best day. I was absolutely finished from that workout. From those pull-ups I was finished. So none of the handstands really went to plan, but it's okay because practice still makes perfect. I still tried and I give it a go, but next time we will be a lot better. That is the workout complete, guys. I felt quite drained today, like maybe not drained, but like my hay fever started. As I was saying, I just didn't feel my best self today. I am due on today, as I mentioned earlier, so that's probably why. Yeah, I just felt like throughout my session, like my muscles were getting fatigued a lot easier today. Like after my pull-ups, I did struggle, like my triceps and my lats were like, ow. So it made like the rest of the exercises really hard to do. But that's also like one of the reasons why I do pull-ups first, because they're the main, well, that is the main exercise that I do want to progress on and get stronger at, and by doing that first, I'm putting all of my energy into that. The handstands, guys, as well. I just have days sometimes where I can't really do them as well, and today was definitely one of those days. I think it's because like all my muscles felt really fatigued, as I've already mentioned. I couldn't do them. It just wasn't working for me. Yeah, guys, that's it for today's workout, and let's go to my next one. Okay, so next we have a run, and running is something that I really do enjoy, and it's something that I've sort of been held back in because of my knees. If you don't know, I do have patellofemoral pain syndrome in my knees, so it can make it difficult when there's a lot of strain on my knees basically. So for my first run of the week, I decided to do a lower intensity zone 1 run. And if you were new to running, you probably have no idea what I mean, so let me explain a little. Zone 1 running basically is where you run at a low intensity pace where you can maintain a conversational pace, as we say. Zone 1 training is the foundation for endurance. It focuses on developing the aerobic system, which is crucial for long distance running and overall endurance. And a strong aerobic base built through Zone 1 training allows for better performance in higher intensity workouts as it improves your overall fitness and stamina. I want to remind you guys that your heart is a muscle too, and you shouldn't neglect that. I did for so long. I feel like in lockdown I was in my running phase, but it was in a very healthy running phase. Like, I didn't run for the right reasons. I run to burn calories, I run to punish myself, but that has completely changed now, and I run to exercise my heart, because my heart is a muscle that shouldn't be neglected, and I run to be fitter and to feel fitter, to be healthier. Low intensity runs is often also less mentally taxing, and easier runs can be more enjoyable. So if you are wanting to get into running, I would actually recommend doing these type of runs, as they really build your aerobic base. They're not really hard, like, you're not even running at a hard pace, you're running at a pace that's really easy to maintain. And I can't lie, it's hard. Like, I had to keep forcing myself to be slower, and sometimes on this run I was picking up my speed and I was like, no, slower. So it was hard in that sense, but I think that if you are trying to get into running, like, this type of running style will really suit you. I am just getting ready to leave my house now because today it's a run day and I am going to be doing my longer run. This run is a Zone 1 run, which basically means that I'm running at an easy pace that I can maintain a conversation. I'm going to aim for like 8 to 10 kilometers, but we'll just see how I do. Obviously, like, I'm only now like really getting back into my groove with running, so I'm excited to see where this takes me, but for now I just want to make sure that I am enjoying the runs and keeping consistent with them. But yeah, got me Garmin to track my run. Today I am wearing a black go-to vest, petal pink everyday bra, and the petal pink wrap shorts. I can't really take my camera on my run with me, so I'll show you some clips of how it goes on my phone, so you're gonna have to excuse the bad quality. Yeah, let's go warm up and then we're gonna go run. Currently I am almost 1 kilometer in and I feel right. I feel like I'm gonna feel better by like the second or third. The first or like second kilometer is always the worst, so around the third kilometer I think I'll be feeling a bit more uplifted. I'm about 3 kilometers in now and I feel so much better, but oh my god, my dog is playing like hell today. He keeps going for other dogs, which is really annoying. I'm 6 kilometers in now. I think I'm only gonna go for 8 because it's getting really warm out and I'm getting really hot, and obviously I got Storm with me and I don't want him to get too hot, so I think we're gonna end her at 8 kilometers. That's 8 kilometers done, guys. I'm just walking now the rest of the way back to have like a good little cool down. That was probably like the slowest run I have done in my life. I really forced myself to be slow on this one and like just took my time. Could sometimes be hard because I always want to be fast. I always want to see these good times, but it's not all about that at the end of the day. You gotta have your easy runs too, because these are going to be the runs that really help you progress in the future. So today we are going to be completing my final gym workout of the week, and this is going to be my second glute workout. Now this glute workout is my glute workout with a bit more sprinkle of hamstrings, shall we say. As I mentioned yesterday, we're nearing my time of the month. I was actually due on yesterday, but I seem to be late. I was actually late last month as well, which is a bit funny. But yeah, so I'm due on. I feel bloated. I know it's gonna come today. Do you know when you just know and you can feel it in your body? Like, I know it's coming today at some point. Before we go, I'm just gonna have some pre-workout. This is the Crank in the Sour Power, which is not available in the UK just yet. But you can get this in the UK in Biceps Battle, which I'm sure you guys will love as well. It's like a sort of watermelon taste to it. Give me energy! So yeah, gonna do this pre-workout now and I'll see you in the gym. I feel like you guys should 100% know the drill by now. So we are going to be doing my dynamic stretches before we begin the workout, and I am going to keep bringing it up because I want to get it in those beautiful noggins of yours that warm-ups are absolutely necessary. I think we can all agree there's nothing worse than having an injury or pulling a muscle. Just imagine like how much pulling your hamstring will affect your glute gains, guys. Okay, so let's put it that way. Grow up and do your warm-ups. So for this workout, I am starting with hip thrusts. As I mentioned earlier on, this is my actual preference just because hip thrusts are not really fatiguing, so I don't think they're a bad exercise to go first. Plus, hip thrusts really activate those glutes, and because your glutes are so fired up in hip thrusts, when you do your next few exercises, it's going to be easier to get that mind muscle connection. I am actually using a box that's too short for me. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but that's because the other box is actually too high, and if anything, I would rather it be a bit too short. So I am doing 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps again working in that higher rep range, so I just don't have to load as much onto the bar if I was to do like say 6 to 8 or 8 to 10 reps. Something I do want to note for me to work on next time is controlling my reps a bit more. They are looking a bit rushed, and ideally you want to pause at the top for like at least 3 seconds. So that's something I'm going to do next time. But that's the perks of recording, because you can see what you need to work on and where you can improve, and that's why I absolutely love doing it. Usually I would move on to my RDLs next, but I wanted to play with the order of my exercises. I feel like I've been doing like the same set routine for a long while. Hip thrust, RDLs, a unilateral exercise, but I wanted to switch it around, give it a bit of a go. Plus, like I said earlier, unilateral exercises will be your best friend, so expending a bit more energy on those is absolutely nothing wrong with that. So that's why we're doing Bulgarian seconds for a change, and I actually really like this order. I feel like, I don't know, like after this workout my glutes were absolutely on fire. So as you can see, I have a dumbbell in each hand. This is just so I can load more, because if I was to only use one hand then I wouldn't be able to lift as much. I am also using wrist straps so my grip strength doesn't fail before my legs do. A good alternative instead of dumbbells dumbbells, we'll be using the Smith machine because you're taking the stability aspect out of it, and I would probably actually recommend you use the Smith machine over the dumbbells. Next we got barbell RDL. This is my favourite way to do an RDL. I find with dumbbells that it's harder to keep hold of the dumbbells, so like using a barbell for me is just easier. I like to use overhand grip with my wrist straps. This just makes it easier to hold for longer. My wrist straps are an essential for me. If I forget those, I may as well go home. I'm joking, guys, but yeah, I love my wrist straps. I need my wrist straps. But yeah, the RDL is such an amazing lengthening exercise for the glute. To make these a bit more glute focused, you're going to want to have a bit more of a bend in your knees and really slightly externally rotate your feet. The goal of an RDL is to not actually lift the weight up and down. Instead, thinking about pushing your hips back and driving your hips back forward. You're going to want to just push your hips back as far as they can possibly go. Imagine there's like a rope tied around your hips and it's pulling you right back. I think it's important to note that RDL form is hard to master, and the correct form looks different on everybody. But the most important thing for an RDL to avoid injuries is keeping a neutral spine. As you can see here, I actually lowered the weight for this set because my RDLs were not feeling 100% today. I just feel like sometimes I get those days where my RDLs just do not get the right flow, if you know what I mean. It happens sometimes, it is what it is. If this happens to you, just simply lower the weight and continue on as usual. I'd rather you do that than keep pushing with the bigger weight and potentially injuring yourself, because that is definitely not what we want. Next we have one of my isolation exercises. So this is going to be a cable glute kickback for 2 sets of 12 to 15 reps. This is going to be slightly different compared to my other glute workout. In my other one, I was doing a 45-degree glute kickback, which is going to target more of the glute medius. But this one we are kicking straight back, which is going to target more of the upper glute max. As you can see, I am bringing my foot back in front of my body. This is adding that extra stretch on the glutes. I am kicking straight back and I have my foot very slightly externally rotated. I know all these little pointers seem like just little things, but if you want the most optimal results for your glutes, I would highly recommend taking these silly little pointers and considerations and applying them to your workouts. Finally, we have glute ham raise, and this is a good old burner to get those glutes fired up one last time. So I do 2 sets of this, and what I do is 12 to 15 reps. Then I drop the weight and perform as many reps as I possibly can. And oh my god, I get so dizzy doing this, like I feel like I'm drunk. Like I actually feel like I'm drunk after this. I get up and I'm like, whoa, where the fuck am I? But yeah, this is such a good little burner to finish. Your glutes are going to be absolutely killing. If you want to isolate your glutes a bit more, make sure you round your back. Make sure you're not like involving your back, like you want to be driving the movement through your glutes. Bend your knees slightly and externally rotate your feet, as you can see I have done here. But yeah, this is such a good finisher and probably my favourite one to do. The pump in my glutes after this is just absolutely unreal. Like I feel like I've had like a BBL or something. So for my final workout of the week, I usually choose between a run or a hike. Usually if it's the weekend, I'm going to be doing a hike because I'm with my boyfriend and we like to go on hikes on the weekends. But in this case, we were in the week, so I decided to do a run. Honestly, like my last run, I just mainly stick to the steady pace, longer runs at the moment because I am trying to consistently be a runner, I guess. Like, I feel like it was only a couple of weeks ago where I actually got consistent with training, well, running 1 time a week. And now I'm increasing that to 2 times a week. Obviously, sometimes I do the hike, but majority of the time I'm going to be doing 2 runs a week. And for me, what's important right now is to be able to actually consistently do that. And I feel like at the moment, if I start putting in like hard sessions, like intervals and stuff, that is something that's going to maybe throw me off and put me off. So right now for me, it's just about building my base, getting used to running, being consistent with it, so ultimately I can be better in the long term. Also, another factor, as I mentioned earlier, my bad knees. I don't want to go too much into it. I don't want to just go full ham, do you know what I mean? Because my knees are something I do have to consider, and I will regret it if I push myself too much and then I have to deal with my knee pain and then I can't run the next week. I'm going to be worse off. This is actually the very last thing I want to be doing today, guys. So, basically, I literally come on my period today. I was actually 3 days late. 3 whole days late, which is very unlike me. But anyway, 3 days late, yeah. The cramps are cramping. I was just about to leave, and like, do you know when you can just feel it? I felt it and I was like, no! I was like, I'm not just gonna not go. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna give it my best shot. Even if I run 1k, you know, it's better than doing nothing. But we're gonna give it a try. We're just gonna see how it goes. The whole car ride here, I was actually like, hold on to the wheel, like, Ali, you're fine, you're fine. You're all good. Like, just trying to convince myself that I'm not dying. Obviously, periods are so annoying. And if you really feel like on your period that you can't exercise, you shouldn't force yourself to. I feel like today is just like, do you know like the cramps that sort of like make you wanna like cry, but like cry because like they're just so naggy, and I don't know what the word is, but I'm sure you girls who have experienced periods can understand what I mean by that. It's just like, I just want to cry. Oh, it's so annoying. I just want to cry. Anyway, guys, so for my final session of the week, I am going to do a run again. So usually, like, my new plan I have, I either do a run or a hike. On the weekends, it would probably usually be a hike, but because we are in the week right now, I've decided to do a run instead because I don't really like hiking on my own. So yeah, we're gonna do a run. I don't really have like a specific plan with my running, to be honest, guys. I think today I'm just gonna do it, not worry about anything, just run and see how it goes. Like I said, I'm on my period today for a start, but also the fact that I'm only now really getting into like getting back to running consistently 2 times a week. Obviously some weeks I do hikes, but yeah, 2 times a week running is something that I am not used to, and I feel like it's only been like the past like probably like 3 or 4 weeks I've been consistent even doing it 1 time a week. So I think for now, instead of worrying about like giving myself a sort of plan or like a workout to do while I'm running, like for example like doing intervals and stuff, I am just aiming to just actually go on a run and be consistent with that first. So I did have a goal. I wanted to do 10k today, but I honestly just don't think that's gonna happen. We're gonna have to see how I feel because, like I said, the cramps are cramping. Also, one of my focuses at the moment is to ensure that my runs are not too taxing on my knees. So like the slower, easier pace runs are going to be my best friend. But anyway, slow runs build up the aerobic engine and capacity to run faster, guys. So there's nothing wrong with your slow runs. But yeah, I better go warm up now. I am severely procrastinating, I can't lie to you guys. Also, my SN order came before I left, and oh my god, this HEYYYYY drink is so nice. I've just been sipping it on my way here, and it's lovely. Lekker. I'm actually feeling quite good. Just started though. We'll see. I'm 3 kilometers in almost. I've got like a stitch, but it's not a stitch, it just feels like a stitch, but I can tell There's no stitch. It's like, I don't know, it just really hurts. So gonna walk for a few secs and get back to it. How are you just a baddie there? Like, you're doing enough. 7 kilometers in now, guys. I think I'm gonna go to the 10. You know what? I'm a bit dead after that. I can't lie. I feel bloody great. I feel bloody amazing. I feel so much better. I feel like it's helped my cramps as well. Like, I literally have no cramps even right now. So, sleep. So guys, that was my 10-kilometer run, and that is all my workouts for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I did enjoy making it and showing you guys my workout. I finally have established a good little routine for myself that I will be sticking to, might I add. As you can tell, I quite literally want it all. I may as well be Sharpay Evans. But as we have come to the end of this video, I do just quickly want to say that I hope you guys can also learn to find pleasure and happiness within your fitness journey and not just view it as something to change your body. Having your aesthetic goals, guys, it's absolutely fine, but don't make them your driving focus. Learn to enjoy the process. Otherwise, you're going to really struggle with being consistent. I think I have personally made the most progress now that I'm doing stuff I enjoy and pushing myself in those. I honestly feel the most happiest and fittest I have ever felt within my fitness journey, and I hope that one day you will learn and grow to feel that way too. Let me know if you're going to take any inspiration from my week of workouts. But yeah, that is basically everything, guys. Quick note that if you do want to shop any of the fits or the nutrition products I used throughout this video, I do have links in the description that you can use to shop through, which will support me. I also just want to quickly apologise for the lack of uploads as of lately. I haven't been as consistent, but I promise I am getting back into it again. So that is going to be everything for today, guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!